In today's video, we are going to take a look at crude oil and fractional distillation. The success criteria for today are that you've been a successful learner if you can 1. State what is meant by fractional distillation, and 2. Explain the trends and properties of the fractions. Crude oil is a fossil fuel that we get from deep underground, and it is a mixture of many different compounds. Crude oil itself is not very useful as a fuel, however it is made up of a mixture of hydrocarbons which are extremely useful. Hydrocarbons contain only hydrogen and carbon, and the most common type of hydrocarbons are alkanes, which we will cover shortly. We need to separate out all of the different hydrocarbons in the mixture because they each have different properties and uses. To separate crude oil, we perform a technique called fractional distillation. This process involves heating the crude oil up and separating the different compounds based on their boiling points. The heated oil, now in a mostly gaseous state, is passed into a fractionating column, which is fitted with a number of condensers at different heights. The column is hottest at the bottom and coolest at the top. The hot gases rise towards the top of the column. However, when they reach an area of the column that has a lower temperature than their boiling point, then they condense into a liquid and can be obtained. These separated hydrocarbons are called fractions, and each fraction will contain a mixture of different hydrocarbons. Fractions that contain small hydrocarbon molecules have low boiling points and condense at the top of the column, whereas fractions with large hydrocarbon molecules have very high boiling points and are found at the bottom of the column. Here you can see a diagram of a fractionating column. Over at the right hand side of the screen, you can see some of the names of these fractions. And the fractions at the top of the column, which contain our shorter chain hydrocarbons, are good fuels. The fractions at the bottom of the column are not good for use as fuels. However, they can be cracked into smaller, more useful hydrocarbons, and we will be discussing that shortly. You may already know that the majority of crude oil used in the UK comes from the North Sea. However, crude oil can also come from other countries, especially areas in the Middle East. Depending on the source of the crude oil will depend on the percentage of each of those different fractions that we can recover using fractional distillation. That's all for this video lesson today. However, make sure that you go to your class notebook and complete the exercise there.